Hello, welcome back to the channel. If you happen to catch my last video, you'll know what I'm up to. I'm up to creating a Christmas diorama that can be used as a decoration, but can also be used as a fun little, just a small little Christmas layout. I've been buying different things, making a few things, planning out different things. So I'll show you what I've been up to so far. If you did see the previous video, you'll know that there's this far end here. I'm planning on having a tunnel, so I've bought the tunnel entrance. I'm not quite sure how far down. It's quite a narrow one, so I'm just going to have to be careful with things being able to get through okay, getting the angle right so it doesn't block anything. So that's what I've got for that end. Then coming along here, I've made these two little Christmas selling huts. My wife reckons I need to get a few more. I'll see how many, how much space I've got, but maybe she's right. Maybe it needs more than just two things for a Christmas market. I bought this cutest little Father Christmas in TT120 scale, so he's got to be around somewhere. And then I've got children playing in the snow, and I've got the snowman, rather grand, even though he's tiny, but it's good. It's good. Those of you who watched before will know about the wall that I got. That's going to be before the church at the end, and I've got quite a lot of trees. And of course, at the end, I'll need plenty of snow. I've decided where I'm going to put my tunnel entrance and have actually tested trains going through it and got it in the right position. Then I made a template of the area at the back of my little diorama, and that's going to be a raised area made out of foam board. This white stuff here that's quite economical to buy. I've used this, if you remember, on other videos in making my platforms. So that's what I'm going to use to create that sort of raised area. One of my subscribers to the channel, Martin, made a comment after the last video suggesting that this area here be raised again because this is an end scale wall, so just to bring it up, and I think that's a good idea, so I'm going to include that. So I do appreciate the comments and suggestions that you make underneath these videos. I do read them and find them very, very helpful, so thanks for that for those of you who comment. I've used the template to cut out that foam board and sort of placing a few things where I think they're going to go. I've cut along here and going to make the smallest railway platforms in TT120 ever made. They really aren't going to be long at all, but it's a gesture. And then I've got this rising thing here where I've got the block of wood and I'm going to make part of the church at the end. So it's taking shape. I've got an idea clearly now. I've got out some MDF wood, quite thin MDF. This long one is going to be the back scene. I've just given it a very first coat, but it'll need a few more. And then I've cut out a shape here at the end, which is where from the behind the trains are going to enter. So I'm using that so that I can get my hand in just to put the train on the track. So that's the idea, and these two little bits of wood are just for the sides. The shorter one is going to be again where the train enters the layout. I'm now beginning to think about buildings, and this is going to be the end of the church. And I bought from, I think, York Models or something like that, a sheet of stained glass. So that's going to go in the window. Not a bad result. I've put the church in the place roughly, nothing is fastened down yet, but I've made a side and a little entrance, and then found a photograph of inside a church which I've just printed off on card, just print it there, so that when the light is coming, I need to tell you about the light. I've just drilled a hole underneath, so a little LED tea light will be able to pop through there and illuminate the stained glass window, and you should be able to see the sort of the church inside. So all I need now is to do some very careful measuring and get this roof on, which may be tricky, but we'll see. While at the other end, I've got the tunnel in place now, and I've got some wood which I've just covered in black felt, so that when people look at it and view it from this side, all you can see is darkness down in the tunnel. I might paint the bit a bit there. I'll ballast it, but I might paint it black as well, just to create that sense of darkness emerging from the tunnel. I'm out in my shed, and what I've been doing is drilling holes into the baseboard so that I can get the little tea lights to be able to shine through, and then where they're close to the side here, I've got to make sure that I can actually fit the little tea light into the space. So I've had to saw away at the sides here, but now they'll fill through, and hopefully when it's all done and the right way up, it will actually shine through the little hole into the model behind. I'm now thinking about the row of shops and houses that's going to be at the very back. So I've cut out this little strip of card that is going to go just there. So I've got the shop, there's going to be two houses and then a shop at the end. And then I'm cutting out at the moment these, which is just going to be the sort of the side of the house. It's obviously not going to go back the full length, so that's going to be there. And I'm going to have four of them, one between each of these, one to support the roof, but also the fact that it will stop any light seepage coming up, because not every of the buildings is going to have a lit area. For the shops and houses, I've now cut out quite laboriously the doors, the windows, and I've got some paper which I got from Rail Scenics, which I've downloaded. It's only £1.99 a sheet, and when you've got it, you can print as many as you want forever. So I'm just in the process of cutting this out, pushing it through, gluing it back, and then I've looked for images online of pictures of inside shops and things, so they'll be maybe visible. They might not be highly visible, but visible from looking at this from the outside, so you can sort of get a sense of looking into the windows and seeing stuff. Though at the moment it's only stuck together with bits of blue tack to try and get the idea, but hopefully you can sort of see the effect that I'm trying to create. I've only just stuck a few things behind, but you can just get that sort of idea. Hopefully it'll work and there'll be enough light to actually make it look something, because they're only little holes, but we'll see. I've just put some filler on this area here just to get the edge where the foam board is down to the rest, and I've just completed my little station hut on the world's smallest TT station, but at least we've got something of a station there that I've just made using a normal technique. At the other end of the layout, can you call a little thing like this a layout? Anyway, the other thing of this scene is the tunnel entrance and the mountain side, and I've built that up with foam board, cardboard, etc. And I went to Hobbycraft today and purchased a bag of plaster moulding roll. Am I brave enough to show everybody me using this for the very first time? Never used it before, but we can have a go, can't we? See how we can make this into a beautiful mountain scene. Welcome to a part of the video where somebody who doesn't know what they're doing is about to do something for the first time and make a mess of it. Well, maybe. Let's just see. This is I've done a little bit to start off. Let's see how this will work. I'll do a bit where you can't see what's happening, so that's quite good. Ooh, that's worked quite well. Let's do another little bit. I've cut them into quite small bits, these, so that I can control it a little bit more over what... don't want to be over the railway bridge. I think it's going to work. Well, I'm finding this a lot easier than I was dreading, and it's not finished yet as such, but I think the effect is really coming on. I'm quite pleased. I'll be happy to do this again. At the other end of the layout, I'm going to make a path going round the side of the station and up to the church. I'm putting some WDWW scenic spacing glue on the thing, and then I actually use real mortar. I'll just sprinkle it on very lightly and use my little mini trowel to get it down into a place to create a path. And I've just put a bit of protection around the church because I don't want to get a path halfway up a church wall. One mistake I made doing this for the first time was I didn't get a brush and dab it onto here. So what I'm doing is, I was going to do this anyway, but I'm just using a bit of polyfiller just to smooth over and to also make it a bit more of a craggy rock feel to it. But if I was doing this again and had the experience, I would have got a brush and dabbed it and tried to get it a bit smoother. But we'll do this. What I was going to do anyway, sort of. I'm soon finding that the best thing to use is actually just a wet finger moving in. But I think I'm pleased with how it looks. I'm just painting a base coat on where grass would naturally be on my diorama. I know it should be covered in snow, but bits will seep through, and I'm going to put static grass on the scene and then the snow on top. So this is just a ground cover colour that I'm painting for just if bits seep through. The little bits that are covered there is where the huts are going to be, and I'll put masking tape there. The trees are now in place on top of the scattered grass, which I've put sort of a darker scattered grass for winter, and they're now looking rather grand, I think, at that end of the little layout. And we're now thinking about the details, and the little details I've got, if you have a look over here, the little huts I've upgraded the buffers at the ends. I've just given them a bit of a paint and a bit of an upgrade. Got a little Christmas tree for the centre of the town, and I've changed my mind about the LED tea lights. I've got these bars here which actually give a lot brighter light through the holes that I've drilled. So the next thing you'll see, hopefully, when I've added the details, is let it snow. I've protected bits where I don't want the snow to go, and I just want to protect my rails. Maybe I'm a bit overprotective to my little terrier that I've just got, but I'm just covering them, and I'll be careful where I put the snow. So I'm going to put a layering spray on that I've got, then this soft flow snowflake, and then I went to Sawyer's Models in Lee today and got some scenic cement, which I'll spray on in a moment. I'm beginning to get, I think, the desired effect. Now I'm going to put the snow on. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It looks like we're going to need to do this a few times, but that's okay. So here it is, all finished. We have the hillside, we have the tunnel, we have the children playing snowball fights by a snowman. The little stall is there, and the row of shops, and the houses. And across here, the little station on the world's smallest station. And here we have a nativity scene just outside the church. And the scene is finished. I brought my little layout to the Christmas fair, and a lot of people are getting a lot of fun from just having a good look. It's a bit chaotic behind the scenes, however.
I think Santa sees some of them being naughty.
And I said, you want me to walk down there? He said, well, I'll do it. He said, just don't care, I'm not doing it.
Uncle Trevor's going to make it work now.
The 1019 to Birchwood is about to leave the station. Are you ready? You're watching, and we stop before we go off the end because the little one crash. Should we go backwards now? Should we go back? Oh, major derailment. Just got back from the fair. First time ever I've shown in public anything that I've made, so it was a bit scary, but it was gentle because it wasn't a model railway exhibition, so there weren't any rivet pickers who could pick faults and things like that, and people. But it was just nice to share the joy of the Christmas time and the model railways to children, to adults alike, and it was really appreciated. I know from all the lovely comments that I got today. Please, if you've liked this video, please subscribe to the channel. It's growing steadily and it's just so nice. Next video I make will be next Saturday. After this, I'm going to the NEC for the big show. So if you're watching this before then, I hope to say hello to you. If you are watching this after, I hope you enjoyed going to, or you can see my video that I make next week. Hopefully. So thanks ever so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and bye bye for now.